everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kalika and you're probably going to be a better person after watching this video. Don't go out that door. To set the stage, it was around 2003 in Queens, New York. Little 2.5-year-old me was outside playing with my friend who lived around 2 to 3 houses down the street. My friend's mum was watching us play in their little front yard when suddenly my mum came outside to come and get me. She took me inside because she wanted to go do something with my grandma, who lived literally across the street from us, and she didn't want me to be very far out of her sight. I obviously didn't want to go inside, but what am I going to do? Disobey my mom and get whooped? She told my brother, who was sleeping, to make sure I don't go out the door and go back outside. He sleepily agrees and my mom leaves. Now, my train of thought was, well, she only told Kessie, my nickname for my brother Kester, to not let me go out the door. She didn't tell me not to. So I waited for my mum to get out of earshot and I opened the door and went outside to play again. My friend's mum was still out there watching him and she asked me, "Ain't your mommy say you had to go inside?" And I stupidly nodded my head. She immediately called my mum and then my mum came back and scolded me for leaving, and then my brother for not watching me leave the house. She then sat me down and said, "You can't play right now. Don't go out that door." She goes back to grandma's and my plan goes into action. I think, well, I still want to go outside. She's gone and Kester is asleep again. But she said not to go out that door. That's the only way outside. Light bulb! I grab a dining room chair and hoist myself out the window. Immediately I get picked up again and my mum is called back to the house. My mum, obviously upset, asks me, "Why did you go back outside? I told you not to." To which I reply, "You told me not to go out the door." Yes, I will tweet exactly what you said. Told the story to a friend and they said I should post it here. I used to work in publishing and part of my job was managing our company's social media accounts. When we were running a campaign for a specific book, we would supplement that campaign by tweeting about it. It usually had no provable impact on sales, but it would make the author happy. I was running a campaign for a big non-fiction author. I initially had no contact directly with the author, but drew up a social calendar with suggested content and timings and sent it through the lead marketer. I heard nothing back, so I started tweeting as planned. I was then told by the lead marketer that the author wanted us to tweet more. I was happy to do that, but needed to balance that with the 20 other books we were publishing that week, so I suggested we do 2 more tweets at peak times, but that I would need some new content because tweeting the same message over and over again is not particularly effective, especially for non-fiction. Now at this point, the author found my work email address online and decided to email me directly. I then received 4 emails in 15 minutes, in all caps, badly spelled and bright red, I kid you not, telling me all the things I was doing wrong. Apparently this author wanted to market his 800-page history book as a sensational, romance-filled family epic. We had included some marketing on the side, but we were still making it clear that this was a history book, not a fictional one. He wanted to skip that bit and mislead people into thinking it was historical fiction. The author proceeded to dictate 10 tweets to me that he wanted me to tweet that day. I went to ask the lead marketer if this was in line with her campaign and she told me to do whatever he asked. In the time it took me to speak to the lead marketer, the author emailed me an additional 5 times, escalating massively each time and ultimately telling me he would get me fired if I didn't do this right now and post exactly what he told me to post. So I did that. I posted each of his requested tweets exactly as I had them sent to me. None of them had links to purchase, none of them had images, several of them had spelling mistakes, and he consistently spelled his own Twitter handle wrong. When he complained, I forwarded the series of abusive emails he had sent me to the head of marketing, and he was banned from ever communicating with marketing staff outside of his lead again. I did get a bit of side-eye, but I was told to just delete the tweets and ignore any further emails from him. Your counting needs improvement. Sing it as written. Alright then. Throwaway. If anyone from our cast finds this, just know I have nothing against you-know-who and actually really appreciate her. On mobile, so please excuse any formatting issues. So at my college, we're performing Sweeney Todd. For anyone who may be a musical theatre geek, you'll know that it is quite difficult music. Mostly, this is due to Stephen Sondheim's love for crazy rhythms and extremely off-the-meter counting. Now, my favourite musical thing is when people make strange rhythms and use wacky time signatures, so I naturally really enjoyed practicing on my own. At the beginning of the year, the director told us that the original Broadway recording of the music is what will be our model, so everything we sing should be based off of it. Skip to 3 weeks before the show, we're rehearsing The Letter, which is very rubato, free-flowing song. The singers are singing what Todd is writing as he's writing it. The orchestra is playing just background chords and the singers are tasked with timing everything themselves. At least that's what any person who's listened to the recording would say. It's obvious by looking at the music and listening to it that the song is completely controlled by the singers and the timing is up to interpretation. So at this fateful music rehearsal, our director and main music director were not there. So our assistant music director was there. We ran through the song as the rest of us had rehearsed it before and she said it sounded good. Now, I have nothing against her. She's actually a really nice person and we get along well enough. But I definitely did not agree with her interpretation of the song. She said that there was one thing that needed to be cleaned up, our counting. She wanted us to sing on the meter exactly as written. The accompanist and I both tried to explain that the song says at the top that it is molto rubato, or very freely. I sung the passage at the top of the page as I heard it on the recording and told her that it was more like that on the recording. This is what she said to me. Well, you need to stop listening to the recording because what you just sang was wrong. Ooh, I was in malicious compliance mode now. I think everyone else in the quintet was thinking the same thing too. We started singing exactly on time, exactly as printed, and oh boy was it bad. The song sounded rushed. If Todd was actually writing, he'd have been writing like a madman. Well, a madder man than he already was. The rhythms sounded way too jazzy as they were written. At the end of the song, she stopped and said, "Yeah, that might need more work. I'll ask the music director what they think." Today in rehearsal, we sang it properly, rubato and all. After rehearsal, the accompanist came up to me and apologised on behalf of the assistant music director and said that we shouldn't stop listening to the recording. TLDR. Was told to sing a song exactly as written when it is supposed to be sung very freely, sung it as written, and it sounded bad. Schools and their breaks. This happened to me during primary school, and it was one of the most embarrassing childhood memories I have that I thank God no one from my primary school remembers. So you know how primary school teachers don't want to give breaks once classes start? Yeah, this happened during that time. I'm a girl, so hopefully that makes sense how it happened. I didn't feel the urge to go and pee during our lunch break, so I just waited for the next class to come because I didn't need to go to the bathroom at the time. As my teacher arrived and was setting up her stuff at the table, I suddenly felt the urge to go. Knowing fully well about the rules of going to the bathroom during class, I still mustered up to go and ask my teacher. Let's call the teacher Mrs. D, because she was a D to kids. Me, Ms. D, can I go to the bathroom real quick? Side note, the bathrooms are a floor below our class and it would probably take a bit of a brisk walk to go to and from quickly. Ms. D, no, you can't. Class is starting soon and so is prayer time. You should have done it during lunchtime. Me, but I didn't feel the urge to go yet during lunchtime. Can I please just go real quick? Ms. D, no. After prayer time you can go, but until we do, you have to stay till we finish. Now back then as a kid, I certainly had no inhibitions and was also pissed she didn't just let me run to the bathroom. And even back then, I knew girls couldn't hold their pee for long. So when she told the class that it was prayer time, I just sat down in my chair and allowed myself to piss right there and then. Yes, I, a girl, pissed in class, deliberately. When my seatmate noticed that there was something wet on the floor, she called on the teacher. At first, my teacher thought I spilled some juice, but she saw my skirt was wet so she figured what happened. First, she was disgusted, then mad. Knowing the start of class would be delayed a bit to call the janitor to clean up my mess and send me to the bathroom and ask for a spare skirt. I don't know that we had that thing, but apparently we did. So not only did I delay the class, I also told my mum that she withheld me from going to the bathroom. That's why I had an accident. Yes, I was a snitch because I hated my teacher for not letting me go. The office then ended up reprimanding her because my mum was mad for not letting kids go and have a short pee break before class even starts. They ended up making her students to have at least 5 minutes to go to the bathroom before class starts. End note. You don't withhold a child from going to the bathroom or you suffer the consequences. Okay, so that was it for r/MaliciousCompliance. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!